trimmed in the gold. TSU coached by Penny Collins, his 4th year with the Tigers overall, 7th season. John Pelfrey, 3rd season at Tennessee Tech. TSU controls the tip.
Looked like Tennessee Tech opens in a zone.
2-3 zone. Left wing, Marcus Fitzgerald. No good. Long rebound. Shaquem Johnson runs it down. It's going to stay with the Tigers.
So the zone for Tennessee Tech is their way of saying, if you can beat us outside, so be it.
This is a good shooting team, though. 3rd best TSU is on field goal percentage at 46 and on three-pointers as well at 36%. Carlos Marshall skips it over to Fitzgerald. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Fitzgerald puts it up and in.
That was a good move, using the left hand to get the bucket, the first of the game.
Tennessee Tech going against the TSU man-to-man here, its first trip. High post action. Now down low, turnaround by Ramsey is good.
Ramsey's out of Georgia by way of Xavier. You look at Tennessee Tech, they've got an impressive-looking front line with some good length.
And our starting lineups, Fitzgerald, Marshall, Cooper, Nicholson, and Jalen Dupree. As a big three-pointer that time for the Tigers. And the early 5-0 lead, Carlos Marshall knocking that one down. I'll show you the starting lineup for the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles here in just a few moments. Diarra, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Backing it out is Clay, working one-on-one on Cooper, gets him up in the air. Little give and go, puts it up and in, Junior Clay.
And he made a great head fake that got him open for the bucket. This is a young guy that's a scorer, and he knows how to score. He's done it for 2 or 3 years in Cookeville.
Those starting lineups presented by Legends Bank. Legendary service, extraordinary people, Legends Bank. Clay is going to run the point. It's going to be a good matchup with Clay and Cooper at that point guard position. No one blocking out down low, and Ramsey puts it right back up and in.
That's exactly what that was all about. No box out on the interior, and Tennessee Tech got an easy layup because of it. Now TSU attacking this zone. With all that length, it's tough to get the ball inside.
Kenny Cooper, 16-footer right wing, no good. One and done are the Tigers. You talk about Ramsey on the other end. Transfer from Xavier, 6'9". And they find him inside again, and the foul's going to be on Shaquem Johnson, his first, team's first. How do you lose Ramsey down low twice?
I don't know. Somebody missed an assignment because he was wide open. There's John Pelfrey. Pelfrey was part of Rick Pitino's first team at the University of Kentucky after Eddie Sutton got the boot. And Pelfrey is part of a group that is really beloved in Lexington.
Ramsey makes the first free throw. He's got 5 quick ones, only averages 7 a game. Yeah, John Pelfrey coached at South Alabama, Arkansas, of course on Billy Donovan's staff at Florida before those head coaching jobs. Now in his 3rd season at Tennessee Tech as Ramsey makes both. And Coach Penny Collins in his 4th season. Little full court pressure here for Tennessee Tech. 2-2-1 3/4 court. Carlos Marshall with the air ball. And running it the other way, Tech.
That press designed as much as anything just to take a little shot clock.
Junior Clay backs one out and knocks one down, and an early 11-5 lead for Tennessee Tech.
And this is what they need Clay to do. He's going to get a lot of shots off, and if a bunch of them fall, he can put up some numbers.
High post, Nicholson skips it out to Marshall. Marshall has it stolen, taking it away, and running with it the other way, Tech. Kenny White tries to get it to Ramsey. Saved by Ramsey. Now TSU have numbers the other way. Kenny Cooper saves it. Fitzgerald, the 3 on the wing, good. Well, so far at 11-8, each team, they might as well go 2-on-2 because they only had 2 players on each side score.
One thing that's very obvious, a Tech team that a year ago was awful, they are considerably better. Got a bunch of new players on that front line to go with Clay, and Clay continues where he left off a year ago.
He's got 8. The 6-point lead for Tech. High post, Jalen Dupree, who's checked into the game. Skips it to Carlos Marshall, who answers with a 3 of his own, and we've got a shooting gallery going on.
The ability to get the ball to Dupree in the middle really opens up the zone. It gives you options either left or right.
And the smallest man on the floor goes in.
And they have improved their front line greatly to go with Junior Clay, and they look like a much improved squad.
The series history presented by Delta Dental. Unleash your smile power with Delta Dental. Keyshawn Davidson, good-looking sophomore out of Oakland High School down in Murfreesboro. The alma mater of my daughter Grace, I might add.
That was a good free plug right there. That was well done.
There's plenty more. There was a kid playing for Moorhead that played at my high school, Warren Central in Bowling Green.
That come up as well?
Yes, it did. Tennessee Tech man-to-man this trip. They'd been zoned to start the game. Up by 5, led by as many as 6. Dupree out. He's going to be called for traveling.
The head fake got him in trouble that time. Had the right idea, but took the step too early.
One place that TSU has had success is with a high-low game between the longer players, but you look at Tennessee Tech, they're just as long. They come off the bench with Shandon Goldman, 6'10", graduate, transfer from Northern Iowa. And going to the inside and drawing the foul was Amadou Sila. Foul's going to be on Kasim Nicholson, his first, and the team's third.
This is what I see that's different than a year ago, is that they have consistent inside play. They got a chance to score up close. This guy, Sila, made an aggressive move to the hoop.
Amadou Sila from Mali, M-A-L-I. George, you want to take a guess of where Mali is?
No. Tell me.
It is the 8th largest country in Africa with a population of 19 million.
Wow.
Just knew that off the top of my head.
Yeah, sure you did.
Sila misses both free throws. Both teams shooting well here early, especially Tennessee Tech, 5 of 7 overall, 71%. TSU 4 for 8. Dupree with a skip pass. Deep shot. Marcus Fitzgerald, no, Nicholson high, but take it away and running the other way. The Golden Eagles don't have the numbers, but they find all alone once again inside. That's Sila that time, but the Golden Eagles scoring a lot of points at point-blank range.
Yeah, somewhere in here, TSU's defense has sprung a leak about 4 feet away from the bucket, and that cannot continue.
7-point lead, the biggest here early. Fitzgerald underneath to Dupree. Dupree fouled all the way up. John Pelfrey not totally agreeing with that. Jalen Dupree going to be going to the free throw line. 6'8" graduate forward out of Cordova, Tennessee. Transfer from Samford. 53% free throw shooting team. TSU, good free throw shooting team overall, 71%. That's third best in the OVC.
Yeah, the rule of thumb, now that you jinxed him, did you notice that?
Yeah, I got you.
Is that anytime you're over 70, you're doing your job at the foul line.
Yeah, as a team, correct?
Yes.
Dedrick Boyd checks in for TSU. Boyd, interesting. Double-figure score, but enjoys coming off the bench more than starting. Transfer from Illinois State.
Played for a buddy of ours, Dan Muller, who was once on Kevin Stallings' staff at Vandy.
TSU 2-3 zone this trip, down by 6.
Sela in the middle. That's where you want to get the ball to try to start attacking a zone.
Also into the game, Emmanuel Duwana in the middle there for the Tigers, 6'10", transfer from Purdue. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Junior Clay sizing it up with Boyd out deep, gets to the left wing, and Quest doesn't get it off in time. Shot clock violation.
Yeah, we had talked about the fact that Tennessee State had sprung a couple of leaks on defense, but that time John Pelfrey's offense had a lot of trouble. Good TSUD, and they forced the shot clock violation.
Yeah, you mentioned John Pelfrey, who obviously played at Kentucky. He was on the floor when the shot was made by Christian Leitner. One of the most famous shots in college basketball history.
What, March of '93 in the old Spectrum?
Marcus Fitzgerald, straight away, good. Marcus Fitzgerald from nearby Pearl Cone, he has 8. Tigers within 3. Nice dribble drive, hits the side of the backboard, but what happens? Marcus Fitzgerald, quick 8 points, Pearl Cone product.
This was set up by good ball movement. Notice he's wide open, about a step behind the line, and nothing but the bottom of the sack.
Dedrick Boyd with the extra pass.
Penny Collins encouraging his team. They had a really good defensive trip a moment ago that caused the shot clock violation. Let's see if that can continue.
They called that foul after the shot, so there was not a 3-point attempt. They said the foul came after it. Sela's going to be walking. Good defense that time. Duwana dropping down and draws the travel on Amadou Sela. Now we already given you one from Mali and Bali, right? Now Sela is from Bali. Diarra is from Mali. You know where Bali is?
Next to Mali.
No, not even close. It's an island in the South Pacific.
Really?
There you go. We will be quizzing at half as Dedrick Boyd knocks one down for the corner. And we're all tied at 18 apiece.
TSU staying alive with good long-distance shooting against this tough front line.
Contested shot that time. Duwana comes down with it. TSU on a 7-0 run. Fitzgerald loses the handle, and it's out of bounds right underneath us here. I got it. Look here. This is going to be an assist. How about that?
That was really well done.
Did we get that on the replay?
I am so proud of you. What great hands for someone of your age.
All right.
Did you like
that? Is that where we're starting right there, huh? Okay. And shot by Ramsey, no good. Fitzgerald bringing it up. Tech is back. Back in a zone. Dedrick Boyd, left wing, knocks it down. And he's come off the bench with a couple threes.
He sure has. And in a game where you're going up against a really good front line, the equalizer for TSU has been the long ball.
Good defense and time.
Installed in the mid-'80s. Not everybody was sure of it. They are now.
And case in point is Diarra off the bench. The Cincinnati transfer, 6'9". He goes to the corner, knocks down a 3, and we're tied again at 21 apiece.
So we now know he's got deep range because that was deep out of that left corner.
Tennessee Tech back with the man-to-man. Started zone. Shaquem Johnson driving in, cut off. And Boyd loses the handle. Turnover for the Tigers. And for turnovers, they're 4th. TSU thus far shooting 7 of 12, 58%, 6 of 9 on threes.
And that's what's kept them in this game because Tennessee Tech has had a big advantage inside. And as soon as I say that, they go right down on the block.
Ramsey working on Duwana. Tech shot 7 of 11 here early, and a nice one off the glass that time by John Petway. He's a transfer from South Alabama. With the transfer portal and the transfer rules these days, you can get well in a hurry in college basketball.
You can. The old, it's going to take 5 years to build up the program just isn't true anymore.
Strong move in the middle there by Emmanuel Duwana. Case in point, transfer from Purdue. 23 apiece. Carlos Marshall up high, gets swatted in the face, no call. Up ahead to Cooper. We're halfway through the first half and tied at 23 apiece.
Yeah, got a lot of offense going on so far. A game that, if it stayed this way, would end up in the low 90s.
And tied. Carlos Marshall in and out. And Shaquem Johnson fighting for the rebound, and Mamadou Diarra reaches in. That's going to be his first and the team's second. And you can see Shaquem Johnson fighting for it. He had all ball and an arm.
You didn't have that good an activity in the Cowboy game yesterday.
TSU inbounding underneath its own basket. Cooper gets it to Marshall. Marshall just pulls up, gets fouled on the shot, and he'll go to the free throw line shooting two. Carlos Marshall missed much of last season with a shoulder injury. Comes back. He's the preseason all-conference player, really the premier player the Tigers needing to be, and has slowly played himself into basketball shape this year. Leads the team, 12th in the conference at 12 per game, 78% free throw shooter.
Greg, with what you're saying, when they get into February and then into tournament time in March, he may be the single most important piece of the puzzle for them.
Yeah, because he can play at 6'6". He's a 6'6" 2 guard, essentially. He plays small forward. They list 3 guards, but he can play 2, the 3, the 4. And when he gets, he's a streak shooter. And he shoots 44% from the floor, but 41% on three-pointers. That's 6th best in the OVC.
Yeah, and if you do the math, anytime you're over about 35% from three-point land, you're doing really well. Now, here's TSU with a little 1-2-2 full-court pressure, and some of this is designed to just take some of the shot clock.
Clay drives, backing out for a 3. Davidson, no good, and Marshall pulls the rebound down. Tigers up by 2, trying to add to that. Marshall fakes, spins, gets in the paint, has a block, got out of control a little bit that time. And Davidson the other way for Tech.
And not only a good block shot by Ramsey, but a nice job to keep the ball in play.
And that's something that a lot of players, they just like to see how far up in the stands they can swat it. Go get that ball or keep it alive. Davidson with the pick, swings it right side. Diarra deep once again.
Wow, this guy's got some range. That was about a 22-footer, and it was dead center to give Tech the lead again.
My God, just a freshman.
Yes.
Cincinnati, speaking of the Georgia Bulldogs, but Cincinnati transfer. And Golden Eagles retake the lead, 26-25. Fitzgerald backing it out. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Fitzgerald trapped, slips through it, turnover Tigers. And for the Tigers, that's their 5th. Up ahead to Davidson, hands it off to Ramsey. And Cooper nearly stole it, but Davidson has his shot blocked by Marshall. What a flurry. Okay, Diarra, what do you got? Not that time.
Boy, I'll tell you one thing. This game is being played above the rim.
Kenny Cooper cut off Marshall, top of the key. Write it down, Carlos Marshall. He has 11 here in the first half, and the Tigers retake the lead. Back and forth we go.
This has been a very entertaining first half in a game where, look, it's not a huge crowd, so it's not, gives you the reason for the high scoring so far.
Tennessee Tech 1-1 in the OVC. TSU 1-3. Junior Clay backing it out. Got the mismatch with Shaquem Johnson. Clay backs out. 16-footer straight away short. No good. And Nicholson on the rebound.
It was a great step back by Clay. He just missed the shot. But you can see the offensive skills that young man has.
Out of Chattanooga McCauley High School. Averaging 11.8 points. He leads the team at 4 assists. That's 4th best in the OVC and a couple steals per game.
They tried to take advantage there of Goldman, who does not have great foot speed, and try to give and go, and the only thing he could do was foul to save the layup.
His first, team's fourth. 7 minutes to play. Been a clean played game. If you look at it, only 5 personal fouls for TSU, only 3 for Tennessee Tech. As Shaquem Johnson drives for the flush. Shaquem Johnson, shot out of a cannon, drives it home.
You might see that tonight as one of your top 10 plays. That was big time.
Junior Clay deep, trying to answer, no good. And Nicholson with his second rebound in a row has it taken away, and the reach-in foul on Davidson. It's going to be his first and the team's fifth. Nicholson starting to exert his length on the boards. If you look at him, he's 6'7", but look how long his arms are. They go down almost to his knees.
Greg, when he got into the lane, I didn't see it. And all of a sudden, bang.
Nicholson, 8 rebounds a game. That's second best in the OVC for the UAB transfer. Tigers by 4. Dedrick Boyd off the bench, pulls up, shot no good. Had a good look at it. Tech running the other way with it. Goldman, Northern Iowa transfer.
Showing some ball handling skills.
Davidson to Petway. Petway goes over Fitzgerald, short, no good, and Shaquem Johnson pulls it down.
TSU started to do a pretty good job on the boards in holding Tech to a lot of one-and-dones.
Fitzgerald trap, gets out of it, and we're going to have a blocking foul called on Quest. That is going to be his first and team 6. As we see Shaquem Johnson look like there was a trampoline in the paint.
Holy cow. He took off behind that little NBA circle jobby.
Yeah.
And
they use that in college, too.
I know they do.
That's why it's there.
But it's the only thing the NBA ever contributed that was any good.
But, yeah, his elevation, and see how quick he is with the basketball, puts it up and in.
He blew right around Sela, who didn't have a chance.
The 6-point lead, that's the biggest for TSU. And once again, it's one and done for Tennessee Tech. TSU on a 7-0 run, making 3 of its last 4 field goals, up by 6. Kenny Cooper, right elbow, short, settled early, I think, in that offensive possession.
Yeah, maybe not the shot Brian Collins wanted, but boy, the last 5-6 minutes have really been good for TSU.
Yeah, just good basketball right now. TSU getting it done defensively and on the defensive glass, limiting Tech's possessions. Yet another shot, and then another one and done for Tennessee Tech.
They have gotten great position on the boards, and that's part of what has fueled this comeback.
Shaquem Johnson working one-on-one, double teamed, skip pass, Boyd, wide open 3, good. Dedrick Boyd, he's got 9, and the Tigers with their biggest lead of 9.
And it was when they put him in the lineup that things started to happen.
Yeah, he's their second leading scorer, and doesn't really like to start like a John Havlicek, right? As Davidson answers with a deep one, that ends that run. Keyshawn Davidson out of Oakland High School in the borough. Man, it's been a fun game.
It's been a quick game, too, as we approach a dead ball timeout here in a moment.
Shaquem Johnson spins, working on Sela, skips to Cooper. Cooper with the fake, back inside to Nicholson, reverse lays it up and in. Kasim Nicholson, nice pass from Cooper, then they head fake up under.
Yeah, Tech wanted to travel and didn't get it, and I think it was the right call that it wasn't. Davidson
early in the set, and Kenny Cooper comes out with it, and we're going to have a Nicholson or certainly a Shaquem Johnson. Then they'll kick it out, and if you're not knocking them down, as Junior Clay just spins the way around, misses the layup, where you won't see that happen too often. Tigers led by as many as 9 here in the first half, up by 8. Tennessee Tech man-to-man.
If Clay could do it over again, he'd have used the glass because what he did was just lay it up, and it didn't fall.
Looked like he was surprised that he was that open.
Yep, I think you're right.
Johnson with it. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Marshall loses the handle. Turnover Tigers. Clay with it into the front court and throws it to the TSU bench.
He was throwing it to Howard Gentry Jr.
Is that where it was?
Yeah.
There is Howard Gentry
Yes,
Jr. over there. Of course, his father, the namesake here of the Gentry Center complex. Former AD, Howard Jr. and Howard Sr.
Call it the first family of Tennessee State University. Greg, I remember being in the very first game in this building in 1979. I was in college, so you know it's old.
Wow. Yeah, I was in, I think third grade then.
Thank you.
Trap, Marshall trying to get it underneath to Johnson as it deflected right back to him. Goes up, no good, follows his own shot, no good again, and up ahead, Davidson, 1-on-3. He kicks it back out to White, who lays it up and in on about an 8-footer.
They didn't need the shot clock on that possession. That took them about 4 seconds from rebound all the way down. 6-point lead at the moment for TSU Tech. An important 2 minutes for them to try to cut into the lead.
Little back door and a steal. Couple turnovers in a row for the Tigers. Davidson ahead with it, cut off, and following and laying it up and no good, but drawing the foul was Kenny White. Shaquem Johnson with the foul, and that is going to be his second and the team's sixth.
And if you look, it appeared to me that White tried to cup the ball on this layup. Now watch, he decides not to use the glass on this feed. Here he comes, and instead of glass, he got nothing.
Including missing the first free throw. Jalen Dupree back in the game. 6'8" graduate transfer from Samford for Shaquem Johnson. Johnson, nice run here for him in the first half as White hits the second one. He's got 3. Tigers by 5, led by as many as 9.
Tech opened in a zone, but right now they're man-to-man.
And trapping out of it, and too much body that time out on the perimeter was Ramsey. That's going to be his first, but more importantly, team's 7th. So going to the line for 1-in-the-1, Kenny Cooper. Kenny Cooper, 72%, 67% free throw shooter, rather. Quite a story. Local product here, George from Franklin Road Academy. Had a great run with Lipscomb going to the NIT championship game. Transferred to Western Kentucky, played with the Hilltoppers, and now because of the transfer rules and everything, finishing it up here at TSU.
Played for Casey Alexander at Lipscomb when they made that run all the way to the NIT semifinals. Got beat, I think it was Texas that got them at Madison Square Garden.
Cooper knocks down both free throws. Tigers by 7 and back in a 2-3 zone this trip. Davidson on the right wing. Inside, Bradley just wide open from 8 feet, knocks it in. That was wide open in the paint right there.
Yeah, that's been the weak spot a couple, 3 times today, and Tech has taken advantage of it.
Cooper, high pick. Circles all the way around. Boyd deep, good. Dedrick Boyd has a dozen on 4 threes.
And Greg, what allowed that to happen was the trap. Once the trap was realized, Boyd was wide open, and as good as he's been shooting it, I'm not sure I wouldn't call the trap off.
Marshall draws his first foul, and both teams are now in the bonus. Kenny White going to the free throw line, 6'7" freshman out of Madisonville, Kentucky. Good-looking freshman. Tell you what, this Tennessee Tech team, I was talking to some of the assistants at TSU, Russ Williamson especially, who had the scout on this game for the Tigers, and he said this is an athletic and as good a team John Pelfrey's had there, this being his 3rd year, as White misses the 2nd.
Yeah, there's no comparison to what we saw from them a year ago.
Well, and you got transfers from Jacksonville, Xavier, Oakland University, Cincinnati. Nicholson with a 3. Trying to answer on the other end. No long rebound comes down to Davidson. 16-footer shot, no good. Nicholson throws it away. Penny Collins is thinking it's deflected, but I don't think that's right. Now the ball is underneath the table here near us as well.
I didn't do half as good a job as you did.
You know, once the ball's on the ground, you got to dive on it. Don't just, I want to see some effort over here.
You can forget that.
The sad thing about it is TSU had the possession and could have gone for the last shot. We'll see if that's what Pelfrey's going to do. Well, the difference being about 5 seconds on the shot clock to the game clock. 5, 6 seconds. Davidson with it, working on Dupree. Petway drives, skips it back out. At the buzzer, puts it up and in. Davidson. And Evansville to purchase your all-session tickets before the prices increase on February 2nd. Marcus Fitzgerald in a hurry, crosses the timeline. 1 second, throws it up from half.
In the OVC at 2-2, if Tech could go on the road and get a win, all of a sudden they're 2-1 in the OVC. And given all the COVID issues that they've dealt with, I would think John Pelfrey would be pretty satisfied with that.
Trying to go back door and the turnover right out, and John Pelfrey just with his hands. How do you want to describe the way he looks after that first turnover on the first possession?
Frustrated,
yeah.
As though, didn't we talk about that?
We set this up in the locker room, right?
And this is how you did me.
Uh-huh. Shaquem Johnson, look at that first step, and he goes for the flush, and hits the back of the iron. And quickly the other way, Junior Clay, Diarra trailing, and he shorthands a floater, and here we go the other way.
Johnson is so quick with the first step, it's scary.
Kenny Cooper, 3, rattles it home. Kenny Cooper is a 46% three-point shooter. You'd like to think he might shoot some more, but the 11-point lead, the biggest of the game for the TSU Tigers.
They are 10 of 13 in the long ball department. That'll win you a lot of games.
Inside, spin, Ramsey. There you go, right inside like you called it.
Good drop step, good rotation, little 4-foot half hook. That was pretty.
They got away from that, I think, going down low a little bit when they got into the flow of the game with TSU. As Fitzgerald skip past Kenny Cooper, hands it. Carlos Marshall, in and out, no good, but Nicholson puts it back up and in.
Boy, that was a tough offensive rebound. He had to reach behind him to get the ball.
Quickly the other way, White misses it. Tech maintains possession. Junior Clay short on the 3, and here come the Tigers. Marshall up ahead to Fitzgerald. Drives, puts it up and in. Marcus Fitzgerald, he's got 10. And I suspect that John Pelfrey will be asking for a timeout. State 51-38, George coming out, making 3 of 5 shots in the second half, including 1 for 2 on three-pointers and a 13-point lead.
And on the flip side, I didn't see a whole lot of intensity out of Tennessee Tech coming out to start the second half, and I've got to believe John Pelfrey talked with his team about that.
Driving and drawing the foul, Kenny White. And the foul's going to be on Marshall, his second, team's first here in the second half.
So Tech's down 13, and it seems to me like they've lost some focus. They started out really good early, got the ball inside. Their big people on their front line did a good job. But, Greg, I don't know. It just seems like they've gone away from that. And to start the second half, I just didn't see a whole lot of intensity on the defensive side at all.
Kenny White makes 1 of 2. He is a 56% free throw shooter. He's got 6 for the game. Man-to-man, Junior Clay out front on Kenny Cooper, picking up a little bit. I'm not surprised they're coming out with a little energy there as you have the reach over by Ramsey, his second foul, team's first here in the second half. But you could just even tell on the defensive end there, Tech getting a little more aggressive out on the floor, out on the perimeter.
Oh, you know John Pelfrey talked about that during his timeout because to start the second half, they were flatter than a pancake.
Kenny Cooper out, Nicholson. Kenny Cooper cut off out front, hands it over to Fitzgerald. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Fitzgerald sizing up the shot. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Gets it to the lane and floats it short. No good. Tech. Davidson with it. Running up ahead. With it. Diarra. Diarra has it swatted out of bounds by Kenny Cooper. Kenny Cooper come up a little lame there. John Petway back in the lineup. Transfer from South Alabama. 6'3", graduate guard from Safford, Alabama.
Important that Tennessee Tech put 2 or 3 good offensive trips in a row together. They're down 12 at the moment.
Petway goes up, and Carlos Marshall's going to pick up his 3rd foul, and he becomes the first player on either team to have 3, the second on the team. So what does Penny Collins do? He looks down his bench and goes to Dedrick Boyd.
Marshall had that look of disbelief, but we could see it from here at the scores table. He whacked Petway in the head pretty good.
Yeah, he just didn't go up and maintain verticality. He swatted at the ball and got the head as Petway misses the first free throw. Boyd, offensively, you don't drop off there. Boyd, that first half, 12 points on 4 of 4 3-point shooting.
He's the single biggest reason that Tech no longer has the lead, because he hit 4 in a row, long balls,
Petway,
4 straight for his 12.
Petway rattles the second one in, 51-40. Junior Clay all up in Kenny Cooper's grill on the perimeter.
At least for a while, you're probably not going to see the wide open threes that TSU has been getting.
Cooper coming around, turnover, and up ahead, Clay. Clay tries to go up in the air, and losing his footy that time was Diarra. And turnover, Tennessee Tech. And at the frustration level, 7.8 for John Pelfrey right now.
Yeah, Nicholson and Diarra got sort of tied up, and the alley-oop never really came out.
Yeah, good no call. But you're thinking that was going to be a dangerous one anyway. Now you got Shaquem Johnson working down low on Ramsey. He just goes up and over him. Shaquem Johnson with 6. He's got some hops.
And he got himself in point-blank range about 4 feet away. Easy shot.
Tigers up by 13. That is the biggest lead. And right wing Keyshawn Davidson, he's got 10 with that 3.
He and Clay form a pretty good nucleus in the backcourt, and there Clay commits a foul. But even though he did, Tech's bench much happier with the level of intensity that they're showing on defense.
Clay's first foul, team's second. But yeah, Clay is going knee to knee, chin to chin defensively with Kenny Cooper. Tech in that man-to-man. Boyd with it. Fall away 16-footer, good. You think he's feeling it?
I don't blame him for letting it fly, because since he has come off of that bench, he has been red hot. Has he missed a shot?
He has missed 1. For the game, 5 of 6. 4 for 4 on threes. Rather, yeah, 5 for 5, rather. Back out of that, 4 for 4 in the first half. Ramsey in the middle there. Good high floater by Daniel Ramsey. When they go inside to him, things open up on the perimeter, and TSU doesn't have an answer right now for that.
No, but Tech had gotten away from it for a while. They've gotten back within 10 as we approach a dead ball timeout.
Shaquem Johnson goes up quickly, and Tech with it. Junior Clay up ahead. Behind the back, nice no-look pass, and inside, and now we're going to have anyway,
yes,
56-45, and then we'd have to get a ride.
You've been saving that one up for a while.
Kenny Cooper. Little token pressure that time. And you said it earlier, that's just to run some time so they can end the offensive set at 21 seconds instead of right away.
For instance, right now it's already down to 12, and Dupree has to take it and go with it.
Yeah, got fouled by Ramsey, his 3rd. Jalen Dupree missed some action earlier this year. Really started out playing well, got ill, and then had some, actually he was in a auto accident over Thanksgiving, hurt his knee, nothing serious. No one was hurt seriously, but just saying it's been an uneven year for the 6'8 graduate transfer from Samford. Dupree makes the second one. TSU from the foul line, 6 of 7. Tennessee Tech, 7 of 13.
It's just been a very good shooting day for TSU, and it all started when Boyd came in the lineup with a 3-ball.
Petway cut off in the paint. Davidson with it. Underneath, nice pass to Ramsey, puts it up and in.
Davidson made that play. Penetration, dish, easy bucket.
And once again, getting it to Ramsey down low. He's got 14, and I dare say all of them right within, 5 feet of the basket. As Ramsey fouls, and this is a big one right here. I just think he picked up. If my records are straight, well, they're going to call it on TSU.
Yeah, it's on Dupree.
Okay, with the illegal pick. I was already winding up on the pitch there for that being Ramsey.
Now watch here. I don't think he ever got settled with the screen. You see he's moving the whole time, and that's a good call by the officiating crew.
Kevin Driver, Blake Harris, and Barry Mathis, the OVC officiating crew here today. 10-point lead for the Tigers. They've led by as many as 13. Davidson out high, backs out. Three-pointer short, long rebound, comes down to Fitzgerald.
That was a big miss right there because Tech has not been able to get into single digits, which is what they're trying to do, down 10 at the moment.
And the foul's going to be on Petway. Fitzgerald driving in the paint. That is his first, team's fourth. And checking back into the lineup, Amadou Sila. He's from Bali, and Diarra's from Mali. Inside, Dewana.
Never really got the handle on it.
Got his own rebound. Boyd wide open. He misses a three, but it comes right back to him. Drive short, no good. So he is human, after all. Junior Clay in a hurry. And a nice defense deflected that time. Nicholson comes up with a steal. Cooper working on Clay into the paint. Spins around. Wild shot that time. But coming out with it and going up, Dewana. Dewana has his shot blocked, and here we go the other way. Petway in a hurry. Puts it up. Too hard, no good. Marcus Fitzgerald with the rebound, and we've got a flurry going on. Fitzgerald.
A flurry without a lot of points, but as soon as I say that.
Now you already wound up on the Boyd three. Diarra with the rebound, and he's going to be fouled by Dewana, his first, and that is the team's third.
Kind of a crazy sequence for about 90 seconds. Up and down, but not a lot of points. And for Tech, that's not a good thing because they're down 10.
Actually, the team's fourth on TSU, both teams with 4 personal fouls here in the second half. 57-47, 12:32 to play. Marshall, Johnson, Boyd, Dewana, and Fitzgerald on the floor for the Tigers. Kenny White back into the game, and Clay dropped either way.
Oh, it was very close. Look, they spent a lot of time at that monitor for a reason, and the reason was it was really close.
Fitzgerald ends up picking up his third foul. It's Petway with a 15-footer straight away, no good, but Nicholson and Johnson, and Dewana get tangled up, and it's going to be Tech's ball underneath its own basket.
Yeah, that's a tough break for TSU because they were fighting amongst themselves. Neither one realized that the other had it, and so Tech gets a big break here.
TSU this half cooled down to 5 of 15, but Tech not much better from the field, 4 of 11. And Clay has it blocked by Dewana, but it goes right to Goldman. He misses at point-blank range. And now Boyd in a hurry. He's got Marshall on the left wing. Three-point attempt, Carlos Marshall, no good. Tech with a rebound, throwing it up, picked off by Marcus Fitzgerald. And 4-on-1 on the other end, and Fitzgerald pulls up for the 8-footer good.
When you're 4-on-1, you simply have to convert, and Tennessee State did, and they're back up by 12. Tech cannot get over the hump. They've been anywhere between 8 and 12 down for most of this half.
Clay tries to go behind the back now. You got numbers 3-on-1 on the other end. Boyd to Johnson, misses the dunk. And I tell you who did a good job. White sort of deked him the other way. Petway drives, puts it up and blocked, no good. And underneath.
Seemed like a real happy camper.
Tigers have led by as many as 13, up by 10. Been a sort of uneven stretch of play on both sides, and a lot of that can be credited to the defense. Both teams really ratcheting up right now. Johnson coming around. Kicks it out, Marshall. Three-pointer, Carlos Marshall, good. His first bucket of the second half, he's got 14.
It continues to be the long ball that fuels TSU's offense.
Petway straight away. White working on Johnson. Floats it, no good, but the follow flush by Sela.
There is no doubt they have got some athletes on their front line. They may not go to them enough, but you see little flashes that tell you there's some athletic ability there.
Yeah, Sela, 6'8" junior transfer from Iowa Western Community College. Fitzgerald gets it to Shaquem Johnson. Dedrick Boyd, three-pointer left wing, short, no good, but hustling on the rebound, Marshall. Fitzgerald, three, good. He's got 16, and the 14-point lead by the Tigers, their biggest.
Yeah, and they have not been afraid to let it fly tonight. Fitzgerald there didn't even think about shot clock, just let it fly.
And take it away inside. Boyd comes down with it. Tigers with numbers running it the other way. Gets it out to Fitzgerald. Marshall driving on Davidson. Puts it up and in, and he's fouled. Carlos Marshall will go to the free throw line for the three-point play. Davidson, his second, and the team's fifth.
Marshall just gets a step ahead of Davidson and goes right to the cup. And if you're Tech, this has got to be demoralizing because you've been sitting there on that 10 line for about 4 or 5 minutes, and all of a sudden the lead's ballooned to 16.
Marshall using his 4-inch height advantage as well to go up over Davidson. Converts the free throw. He has 17 points. That leads all scorers. (68-51). The 17-point lead, the biggest, and this one getting away from Tennessee Tech a little bit.
Yeah, and they have not done a really good job as far as handling the basketball. They have taken some crazy shots here in the second half.
Diarra out top of the key. Dane Quest into the paint. Throws it away. Got up in the air with nowhere to go. Turnover, Tennessee Tech.
Example D right there.
Yeah, Tennessee Tech only shooting 35% here in this second half. 9 minutes to play. Tigers on a 6-0 run has ballooned it on up to 17 points for the lead. Shaquem Johnson out high, looking inside Marshall. Marshall goes up, has it deflected, then loses it out of bounds. Tennessee Tech will bring it the length. What does Tennessee Tech have to do to get back in this one, George?
Well, the first thing that's happened is that Clay has been benched. And I think now I've got a pretty good idea. Pelfrey was not happy with a couple of decisions that he made at about the 10-11 minute mark and basically pulled him. And I'm not sure they're good enough to win without him, but I think Pelfrey's trying to make a statement.
Dane Quest with the air ball there as the Tech shooting continues to cool off. 33% from the field, including only 1 of 4 on threes. TSU for the game, 12 of 20 on threes, 60%.
Clay, by the way, about to check back in at the scorers table.
Fitzgerald drives, and he's going to be tripped. See if they get that on. It's going to be on Mamadou Diarra, that is his third, and the team's a sixth. So TSU in the bonus with common fouls the rest of the game. Junior Clay back in. Kenny Cooper looking, gets it to Marshall. Marshall just going to pull up for a three, short, no good. Looked like he settled for that one. Tech, Davidson, cut off. Nice switch there. The one thing when you have a switch, when your guard is 6'6", you don't lose a lot inside because Carlos Marshall can defend bigger than his 6'6" frame. Junior Clay now spinning on Cooper. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Goldman driving. Davidson traveled with a basketball. No call there. Looked like a little bunt.
Don't want to do is give Tech any life at all. Down 17, they need a spurt to get back in it in the next couple minutes. And that kind of shooting probably won't get it done.
Nicholson and Diarra tied up on the rebound. Possession arrow TSU as Dedrick Boyd checks back in. Marcus Fitzgerald heads to the bench.
Wouldn't be surprised if Tennessee State is maybe going to slow it down just a little bit. A little more interest in taking the shot clock deep. Because now the clock is your friend.
Full court pressure. Cooper trapped. Got 3 seconds to get across the timeline, and they barely beat it, but nonetheless turn it over. Clay with it now. Pull up Diarra, short on the three, but underneath, putting up wild follow, and then Diarra. And we got a delay of game warning on the Tennessee Tech bench.
That was for Diarra catching his made field goal.
Oh, was it? It
Yeah.
wasn't on the bench, just okay. Yeah. Full court pressure again. Tennessee Tech trying to speed it up now, obviously with just over 7 minutes to play, down by 15. And as you mentioned, I think TSU is going to go deep in each possession with that 15-point lead.
Yeah, it's their game to win now, up by 15.
Marshall spins and called for the charge, and that's going to be 4 on Carlos Marshall. And the 6th team foul. So both teams in the bonus. As Marcus Fitzgerald comes back in, Carlos Marshall heads out. Turnovers and bad shots for TSU is how you let Tech get back into this thing, right?
Yeah, and Penny Collins watching this, hoping that doesn't turn out to be what happens.
Davidson underneath. Sela puts it up and in.
That's a good play by Davidson. Got penetration, dished for what turned out to be an easy layup.
Good-looking sophomore Davidson out of Oakland High School in Murfreesboro.
He saw some significant playing time a year ago in their backcourt. He and Clay have a chance to be a good, strong backcourt.
Kasim Nicholson stops and pops from 16 feet. He's
COVID.
Well, and coming down from the league commissioner, Beth DeBush, Travis Teletasi, Kyle Schwarzenegger, really trying to put to their staff, the ADs and the coaches, look, flexibility. We're going to have to be flexible. This isn't something that we created, but it's something that we got to navigate. You talked about that Tech-Belmont game last Thursday. That game was not scheduled until that morning of the game.
Yeah.
And you had the AD Scott Corley at Belmont and the AD Mark Wilson at Tennessee Tech. Then, of course, the coaches have to sign off on it, and coaches need their prep time. You know that.
Yeah, so much for scouting reports, huh?
But these teams have seen each other plenty of times. As Kasim Nicholson drives the baseline, has it swatted by Goldman. Shaquem Johnson, shot clock, then the turnover, 2-on-1 the other way. Clay, Euro step, and he's going to be fouled. And the foul is going to be on Fitzgerald, and that is his 4th.
This is where the old school me can't handle it.
Was that walking?
Well, I mean, it's now called a Euro step. A Euro step's a nice word for a travel.
2. Couldn't see the feet. Did he take 2 steps? Fitzgerald definitely reached in. But was it traveling? As Clay knocks down the first free throw. He's got 9.
Don't get me started on Euro
Or
step.
on Euro steps.
It's a nice word for travel.
Can we get a camera and have George give us an example of what a Euro step looks like? No response from the crew.
They're not that desperate.
Clay knocks down both of them. He's got 10. Full court pressure. Fitzgerald to Cooper. No trouble that time, but you see Clay right on top of Kenny Cooper on the front in the front court.
And a good move to bring it out, run a little shot clock.
Fitzgerald with it. Boyd drives, pulls up, 16-footer, good. Dedrick Boyd is a scoring machine. The Illinois State transfer, 16 points. And he can hit 2-point shots.
He set the tone early with when he came off the bench, TSU was down about 6, and all of a sudden he hit 4 threes in a row. Next thing you looked, Tennessee State was up double digits on the scoreboard.
Bit of foul trouble now for TSU. Fitzgerald 4, Marshall 4, and Shaquem Johnson just picking up his 3rd. As Keyshawn Davidson back at the foul line. He is a 92% free throw shooter, but just hadn't had enough attempts to be among the league leaders.
No, but at 92%, he probably has a really good routine. Let's just sort of watch it here, what he does. Two dribbles, yep. And bang.
Nothing but twine.
And hey.
No, let's don't go. Joe didn't. The late Joe Dean, one of the true basketball legends in the announcing world. I'd put him in the Dick Vitale category.
Well, one of the great ambassadors for the SEC when basketball really didn't have a lot going for it.
Fitzgerald out deep, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Fitzgerald working on Petway. Has his shot blocked, and it's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow, Tennessee Tech. Little too much one-on-one that time.
And, Greg, this becomes a huge possession because a 3-ball by Tech could get them back within 10, and all of a sudden, you know, they sort of be back in it a little bit.
Petway into the paint, cut off. Davidson working against Fitzgerald on the right wing. The switch, Davidson just throws one up and in. Keyshawn Davidson, he's got 14.
And now it's down to 11, and Tech's got to dig in on the defensive side with this full court pressure.
Fitzgerald fouled by Petway, and on Petway, that is his 2nd. The team's 8th. So Marcus Fitzgerald, the number 2 free throw shooter in the OVC at 84%, back at the foul line. Fitzgerald for the day 1 for 1. The Tigers 8 for 10 from the charity stripe. Tennessee Tech 11 of 17, 64%. TSU's a good free throw shooting team, 3rd best in the OVC at 71%. That's good. Like you said earlier, 70 plus team wise. Then you're getting it done at the free throw line as Fitzgerald knocks down the first one. He's got 17.
And where it really becomes important is what we're about to get to, the 4-minute mark of the game where Tech is going to have to put TSU at the foul line.
John Pelfrey shouting instructions. Marcus Fitzgerald, 6'2 freshman guard. He was a finalist for Class AAA Mr. Basketball as a senior at Pearl-Cohn High School. Leads all scorers with 18. And just driving it uncontested, Petway. They parted the seas for him, didn't they?
The Red Sea.
Kenny Cooper breaking the press all by himself, circling back out. Now Tigers get in the offense.
This is what I was talking about, backing it away and milking shot clock. It's already down to 13, and they really have not started into their offense at all.
Got a mismatch inside with Nicholson against Davidson, and Nicholson puts it up and in. Davidson thought he was slung to the ground, but...
So not only are you able to waste 25 seconds off the shot clock, but you get a really high percentage shot to go with it.
Petway
and that
drives.
is an offensive foul.
Moving his body over and giving it up was Dedrick Boyd. Petway with his third foul. Well, if you're not going to get it to me with Hiomi, I'll just chicken wing him out of here.
If you do that tonight in the NFL playoff game, it's offensive pass interference.
No trouble with the press there, and Tennessee Tech drops back. Looks like a 1-3-1 zone, or maybe a 2-3 zone, really extended out on the perimeter. Dedrick Boyd pulls up 17 feet short. Johnson saves it all the way back to Fitzgerald, but only 4 seconds on the shot clock. Fitzgerald floater, no good. And up ahead, Clay on Kenny Cooper. Clay puts it up, fouled by Cooper. Cooper's first, and Junior Clay back at the free throw line.
Kind of a crazy possession for TSU. A terrific save. And Fitzgerald did a good job of recognizing that he had to let it fly in a big old hurry.
Tell you what, though, Junior Cooper looked like squared his shoulders on that as Clay misses the first free throw. 72% free throw shooter. You know, it just seems like Junior Clay has been around more than just this his sophomore year. I know he gets a year back. It seems like he's been around enough to be called senior Clay.
Oh, gosh. Are you serious?
Worked on that all night, George.
I had really hoped that you would just sort of eliminate that one, but
barely getting it across the timeline. So that one won't win an Edward Murrow.
No, it really won't.
Broadcast award.
It won't, nor will this game broadcast.
Speak for yourself.
Arizona or the Rams tonight?
Yeah, here we go. Fitzgerald gets his man up in the air and swatting it away for Diarra. All right, let me ask you this. What would keep Diarra with those long arms just going up and grabbing that basketball instead of swatting it away?
Well, it's easier said than done.
I understand that.
This guy has got some hops. Take a look. Whew. There is some real talent there. That's sort of what Tech's got to build off of, is this great front line. Look at that play.
Carlos Marshall from Fitzgerald. Tigers back up by 14 with 2 minutes to play. Davidson. Diarra. Back to Davidson. Now Petway drives high over Nicholson, not there. Johnson comes down with it, hands it to Cooper. And the Tigers in no hurry with 1:40 to play.
Greg, I want to see what a summer will do for Diarra, because I'm intrigued. There's some things about him that really intrigue you as far as just great athletic ability, some basketball skills. You saw that blocked shot earlier. Wow.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Fitzgerald working on Davidson, kicks it to Nicholson, pulls up straight away. Good. Kasim Nicholson with a dozen. And the 16-point lead for TSU. And the turnover there. And with just over a minute to play, this one looks like it's going to be in the books for TSU.
Yep, and it's on to SEMO Thursday night for a big conference game. This is a good win for Penny Collins.
And then back here against Austin Peay next Saturday afternoon. And Fitzgerald just dribbling it out. Now with 4 seconds on the shot clock to Marshall. And shot clock violation. Penny Collins just with his hands on his hips saying, there's a shot clock. But that turnover's not going to hurt him.
And for John Pelfrey, you could see the frustration in the second half. His team did not come with the kind of defensive intensity that he was looking for earlier. Look at Diallo.
Diarra had to duck for his head not to hit the rim on that alley-oop. Shot clock, rather the game clock. Had it right the first time. Shot clock is off. And the TSU faithful here at the Gentry Center showing their approval. Tennessee State will improve to 6-11 overall, 2-3 in the OVC. Tennessee Tech drops to 4-12 and 1-2 in conference play.